Well, looking at the type of life we live in Africa, one can say Africa is very blessed. Looking at the business part of it, looking at work, other vacancies that we can put in place, one can really say Africa is very blessed because the life we live in Africa is more than enough, or let's say it is sufficient than other places around the world. Africa is a place where everyone should look at, mostly Africans that have departed from Africa, going outside looking for green pastures. Africans, diasporas that are found probably in around the world that never been here before, or their parents left during the time of slavery. I can guarantee you that Africa is the best place to be. Africa is a paradise. Why am I saying that? Looking at the level of life in Africa and the level of life Europe, level of life America, there's a different in there. There's two different that we can look at. First of all, if you look at life here in Africa, when we come to business, you will find that in Africa you can survive with anything that you can afford. Anything. It is amazing that you go to certain part of Africa, you will find that somebody or a family, a nuclear family, whereby there's a father, mother, and children. And you find that this nuclear family has a number of probably 10 to 11 children, because in Africa people are blessed even to, when it comes to production, you find the family has a number of that the whole nuclear family can be even 14, 16, 15, and so on. But what amazes me is that you find a nuclear family, a father of that family or a mother of that family is trading with a sum of $50, yet he has a number of more than 10 children in a house. But this family do not starve. They eating daily. This mother or this father will go out there with that $50. They will live what we call, they living a daily basis. Why? They will take for example, a man selling, trading with a gas, petrol. This man has probably 20 or 40 liters of petrol. Now, this man is trading out there, selling per liter. Maybe motorbike passes by and buy 2 liter. Other will pass by, buy 4 liters, and the other will pass by. This how this kind of man lives. And at the end of the day, you find the $50 that this man was trading with. At the end of the day, he looks, petrol has finished, but he also sold some kind of benefits, which is another $30. And that $30 will be what will sustain them for that particular day. And tomorrow again, that person will go and do the same thing. And you find that this becomes a daily life of this family. Now, this family has been living in the same way for 20 to 30 years. Now, I'm trying to show you how much Africa is blessed. You'll find there is this other family whereby a mother of this family is selling flour or oil, palm oil. The palm oil that this woman is selling has it's not much than 20 liters of palm oil. But from that palm oil, that's where will come actually food that will sustain the children for the whole month. So they live on daily basis. Now these are opportunities. This is the type of Africa we're talking about, whereby a lowest person lives without any problem. They live, they do not go to bed without food. Every day they are satisfied with what they have. They may not have something, probably some funds to, to take the children to best schools, but the type of life that they live is actually, it's okay for them. Now, going to America or elsewhere around the world, you cannot find something like that. You find that, the maximum or minimum that a person can use to live, maybe $500. Whereas in Africa, you give somebody, you give that woman, you give that man that is selling with $50, $500. Within a year, that person will go far in a business. And what makes people live that kind of life? Because that is what they can afford. Because there's a widow that says in Africa that, a chicken can only swallow according to the size of its beak. So in the way that it happens that, you are in diaspora, probably you are found elsewhere in America, in Europe, Asia, wherever you can be found, Australia, and you getting money, you are okay there, for example. But you cannot be very okay as a person that is in Africa. That's the reality. Why? You can get a job, for example, that gives you $1,000 US. But from that $1,000 US, believe me, that's $1,000 is not all yours. You may find that maybe you will come to what you can say, this is mine, after deduction of all kind of things that takes place, the tax, expenses that are waiting for you, and all kind of things that you find yourself, venturing in. Probably you ventured in, then you find yourself probably having something about $400. That is what you can afford for yourself. Yet that $400, you still have children that have to go to school. You still have petrol that is waiting for you, your car, gas. You still have probably electricity to pay for, and you still have food in your house. So you realize how much you are actually toiling more than a person that is in Africa. Because a person that is in Africa doesn't have much fear, nothing much worries them, except more than food. Except they want to have food. They want to put food on the table. That's the difference there. I'm speaking from experience, right? I understand kind of life that people are living overseas. I understand kind of life that we living here. All right. So the life that we live in here, it is actually a kind of life that is blessed, more blessed. Because I always say the life here is when you are in Africa, you are like you are in a pavilion. You are covered. The more you leave Africa, it's like you are coming out of pavilion. Because in pavilion, you have to, if you were going to, when you eat or whatever you get, you afford, is by the grace. All right. You afford by the grace. Whereas when you go out of pavilion, whatever you afford, it's by your own sweat. So the difference is here, what you afford outside of pavilion is by your own sweat. But what you afford when you are in Africa, under the pavilion, is by the grace. That is why you find in Africa, you got a family of 15 children, 12 children, 11 children. And you wonder how these children eat. How do they survive? How do the parents afford, cater for all these children? You wonder all that. But the truth is, the children are living under the grace. You have a child, one child, there's a grace for that child. You increase a second child, there's a grace for that other child. Up until you reach even 10 children, the grace is going higher and higher and higher, because you're under the pavilion. All right. But when you go out of Africa, you go out of pavilion, now you start living on your own. The level of life becomes so tense there in a way that you find it very difficult to survive. And others say, you know what, I will survive in this because I left the pavilion. I cannot go there anymore because this is what is happening. Yet I cannot blame anybody that has left Africa. I cannot blame those that probably went to seek for, greener pastures. I cannot blame that, because there are so many reasons why some brothers left, Africa, going to Europe, other places overseas, America, all places where we find ourselves. Right now, I'm in South Africa. I had opportunities to go to America, to go elsewhere, but I boycotted them because I understand that there is no place like home, Africa. There is no place like home. I understand. I'm speaking from experience. I've been all over the world. I've been around. I know kind of life that we managing there. Nobody is best than, a person that lives in Africa. I'm telling you the truth. You can have a best job in America. You can have a best job you can drive a best car there, but you're still not the same as a person that lives in Africa. Why? There's so many realities, and if you can just be rational, you just look at things, just meditate on what I've said, you will see, you'll agree with me. You'll agree with me. 1,000 from America or elsewhere outside of Africa, and $100 of Africa. It's way different, but the utility of this is actually you'll admire somebody that is in Africa than admiring somebody that is in America or somewhere else. In America, people live more, they live in debt. People are actually more like under the slavery. They're still under slavery, because the system that is set up there on its own, it causes people to be in slavery unknowingly. Yes, you are in slavery unknowingly. But for those that are living in Africa, remember that Africa is a promised land, number one. And the second thing, Africa is a land that was given to our forefathers. Africa is the land that till now, there's still things that we don't understand. If you go to east part of Republic Democratic of Congo, you will find that there is a place where they've discovered minerals, where the community, they actually giving themselves, helping themselves. Where on earth will you find a place like that where you are digging gold with your hands, your own hands, without using machine? So that tells you that Africa has this grace that nobody understands it, including Africans. They don't understand what they have. People that understand Africa the most, the best, are Europeans. Europeans understand Africa because they know, they see, they have this knowledge of what is happening in Africa, what Africa contains, which Africans don't know. That's why when a European calls an African stupid, they call by facts. An African stupid by fact. It's not that because African doesn't have a mind of discerning things, or an African doesn't know how to read. No. That's not how they mean it. They mean actually you are stupid for not knowing what you have in your hands. Yes, we can be studying and we've probably mastered so many credentials and all kind of things, but if we never come to a level of understanding your potential, the potential that your land has, you're still missing it. We have many doctors that have finished here in Africa, but their doctorates go benefits Europe, benefits Asia, benefits elsewhere, out of Africa. Instead of thinking of seeing how to develop Africa, they go abroad. Now, going abroad, what happens? They become more, useful, to a point where in 20 years' time, you find a man left Africa, maybe in the age of 30 years or 35 years. Now, within 20 years, a person now looks more older. You are so tired in a way that, they've been misusing you. First, the food you eat becomes a problem, because the food is genetically modified. Now, your system that you had in Africa was more stronger than any system that your system of Europeans. Now, the way God made you, it's your system is so it could have taken anything that comes about. But now that you've gone out, you find yourself in Europe, you find yourself in other places. Now you find it was hard. You could have in Africa, sometimes there are places where people didn't have fridges. They will kill a cow, they will kill a goat, and they will keep it within a house for more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks without a fridge. But now it's hard. You cannot kill a cow and keep the cow for 3 days or 4 days without a fridge. Definitely that cow, you'll find, maggots start coming up. Or eat a food that's probably slept for 2 days and it's gone off a bit. You'll find in Africa, they didn't care about that. Some people, they will eat that. They don't care. It kind of like, changing the taste. They will eat that even though without harming them. But be elsewhere, you are in Europe, try to eat that. I tell you, you will go to doctors like never before. Spend money trying to find out what happened. So that shows that even the system changes. Your system changes. But when you come to, understand, the potential that you have in Africa, when you come to understand the level of grace that we have in Africa, one may say, look, Africa is the best place. It doesn't matter. I'm not that rich, but I know with time I will get there. What amazes me, I'm speaking mostly to my fellow brothers Congolese. In Congo, there are places where if you spend 1 month, just 1 month, you are excavating the minerals, seeking for minerals, you can change your life for good. But a person will actually think of going overseas to spend 20 years doing nothing, 20 years being a vagabond, than spending a month excavating for a month to find something that will sustain him for 50 years. Now, we find it happens in Congo. Congo is the most richest country in the world. We have brothers and sisters that have left Congo, have gone to, the diaspora. They've amassed some, skills and all that, but they cannot come back again and say, look, I've got something that takes for me to enrich myself and change my life, change my, narrative. They will never do that. Rather, staying in a place where they are, buying best clothes, buying, paying best cars, thinking that that is the way of life. Yet, there is no legacy that they can say, this will be left for my children when my children are gone. So we have a big problem here, because in life, you got to understand a man has to seek ways or know how to leave a legacy to his own children. How will you leave a legacy to your children if you are overseas? We understand that every house that is actually owned there is not your house. You may have it by name. You can have a title deeds, because we understand, there are places that socialism, communism is actually reigning there. It's the country is actually laid in that, kind of way. So obviously, when you're in a country that, for example, you in Germany, you're in Russia, obviously you will never own your own things there, because everything belongs to government. Whatever you have belong to government, including business, all that belong to government. But now my problem is that you've actually cultivated your mind and you came to a point where you can do something for yourself. Why can't you come back to Africa and see how to develop yourself? Why can't you come back to Africa and see how to take yourself, to another level? Rather, you remain in Europe, you remain in America, you remain in places just toiling for the rest of your life. I'm not insulting you. I'm not saying, I'm not boasting. I am in South Africa. I understand. I've been here for 20 years, 21 years now. But I understand how life is outside of your own native country. But here in South Africa, is small as I'm at home, because Africa is Africa. I find it easy to live in Africa than living elsewhere in the world, because Africa, it accommodates every thought that I may develop, that I may have, that it may emerge in my mind, that can be attributing to the development of Africa. That is actually coming to materialized in the way that, for example, I've opened certain businesses around here, which within a period of time, I know things will work out. Definitely will work out without any help, without anybody helping. I'm running a university, though it can be a biblical university, but it's actually going to a level whereby I can see doors are opening. These are things that we understand, and it's a point where even black people are looking at me and say, how can you do that? This is something that a white man can do, not you. You don't have ability to do that. And that is how most black people, African, have denigrated themselves to a point where when they look at themselves, they don't see anything good coming out of their lives, but they see all type of toiling and all kind of things. Who told you that? Africans are able to withstand, to stand by themselves. Africans are able to do exploits. It's just a problem. It's a kind of mentality that we have where we tell ourselves that, look, the only time I can succeed is when I go to America. The only time I can succeed is when I go to Australia. It's the only time I can succeed is only when I go to a certain place. No, that is not truth. That is not the truth. The truth is that, wherever you are, you can succeed. Particularly in Africa. If you understand how to use your mind, and you first come and learn the land, learn the people, learn the situation, then you can be able to succeed. We need the Africans to own their own narratives. We need the Africans to stand up. It's not a time anymore of mentioning certain people that were about to do things but they could not do. They, during the course of, their struggle, trying to do that particular thing, they were killed on the process. We don't need to mention that anymore. What we need actually to do is wake up, pick yourself up and begin to act. Do things that will benefit Africa that is coming. Make a history where our children, they will look at and say, this is an African man that established this. You are making history in the overseas, abroad. No African will ever speak or sing of your success. Why? Because your history is of no effect. Any history you make in Africa, that will be more amplified. Though I understand that, other people may not like it, but the fact that you have done that, it's perfect. And it's something that you need to do more and more. You need to do more and more. So it is actually something that I will encourage my fellow Africans to venture into. Just be innovative. Staying overseas it doesn't, if you look at it, if you sit down and think critical, you need to be a critical thinker, whereby you think well and see that, it won't help. So you need to get back here on the land and begin to do things that need to be done here so that you can be a person that can change. narrative. The history need to be changed. We've been looked down for so long. We've been looked down and called names that is the people who cannot do anything. We got brothers and sisters here, outside of Africa that can do greater things. They can do exploit. But if you cannot do that, you cannot come in and do that. Some other people, they're scared that I cannot leave. How can I live here because I was brought here by my parent. My parent, I was born here and all kind of thing. Even if you were born there, but you can come over here and try to build your life. You can actually change lives of your brothers around here because of what you have, what you've actually amassed, and that is what is needed here in Africa. Africa need Africans that will come down and begin to work together and try to see how to develop Africa. Chinese ain't going to develop this Africa. In fact, what they will do, they will smuggle Africa, not to develop it. Yet we African are looking, we're watching, standing and watch. Wherever we are, we hear that, okay, this is what is happening. Chinese are coming in and doing whatever they want to do. I'm not against Chinese coming over here and do, Africa is like an elephant, meat, whereby everyone has to cut a piece and take, but mostly for Africans. Because everyone has his own land. Everyone, black man has his own land. That's what actually Malcolm X said. Black man has his own land. White man has his own land. So Africa belongs to Africa. Europe belongs to Europeans. Asia belongs to Asian. And you African, you gotta come back home, man, and begin to build your country. Build your land. As you build your land here, you got all things working out for you. Wherever you are in Europe, they look at you, they say, wow, this is a true African. But right now, they cannot look at you as a true African because they will ask you, why did you run away from your country? The best country ever. We are like this because of that country there. The land there in Africa sustain us as Europe, America, Asia, and all that. So we need to wake up, man, and think what we can do for our own Africa. I'm not trying to insult you, but I'm trying to come up with something that can be, pounded on in a way that you can just think about what I'm saying right now. So, and see how you can come up with some a fresh idea concerning what I'm saying. And probably you can find it easy to come over and we get hand together and begin to build our Africa. And you see, things will go well. The reason why our leaders have found it easy to bring people from outside and come to help to build Africa is that because they've seen that, Africans that have led Africa have never come back to their senses where they can say, look, I got what it takes for me to develop Africa. You think if we got business people from overseas, African business people who wants to venture into developing Africa, saying, look, I'm going to a certain country, I'm going to speak to a certain president and say, look, this is a amount of money that I have. I want you to do this type of, I want to borrow this to the country. I want to borrow this so that they can be, returning some interest on you for you every month. Obviously, that's a particular country will not go out there and get Chinese into business. And you know that Chinese, wherever Chinese are called, they sign a contract and they have conditions that they give the leaders. That's why we see even certain places in Africa, Chinese are building some, police station. And it's not like, they will use the police from that particular place, but are they bringing their own police? That shows that, Africans have been sleeping for so long to an extent that, they will wake up one day, Africa is gone. or we are recolonized again. It's something that we need to think very carefully and look very far what is coming. And if you do that, I tell you, you'll be serving the life of our children that are coming. Just think about this, look at it, give it a thought. I'm your friend and brother, Dr. Owen. I just want to pass this on to you so that you can also think the way I'm trying to think. Maybe you can think better than me. Maybe you can give me more modality concerning this, what I'm saying, and see how we can go about it. And, we can do something. We can build our Africa. We can build our land. There are much to look at. But let's start from there, so that probably next time you can give me again your ear when I want to speak something. Thank you. Bless you.